The Galactic Academy's most prestigious examination hall hummed with nervous energy as representatives from 43 species settled into their assigned seats. Admiral Zexathari of the Void Hunters flexed his razor-sharp talons, confident in his species' reputation as the galaxy's apex predators. Behind him, the crystalline architects clicked their geometric forms together in what passed for smug satisfaction. Their world-ending technologies were legendary. Even the hulking devastators, whose muscles could crush starship hulls, radiated menacing confidence. The examination was simple in concept, terrifying in execution. Identify the greatest threat in this room. Dr. Elena Vasquez sat quietly in row 3, adjusting her wire-rimmed glasses and smoothing her unremarkable brown cardigan. At 42, she looked exactly like what she was, a xenobiology professor from Earth's smallest colony, New Tasmania. Her graying hair was pulled back in a practical bun, and she carried nothing more threatening than a worn leather satchel containing her research notes and a thermos of coffee. The other candidates barely glanced at her. "Begin," announced the cosmic arbiter, its voice echoing through dimensions. Immediately, the room erupted into chaos. The Void Hunters snarled and postured, displaying their natural weapons. The architects began projecting holographic displays of their planet-cracking siege engines. The Devastators simply stood and flexed, their bio-armor gleaming. Even the typically peaceful harmony singers began weaving their reality-altering melodies, demonstrating how they could drive entire civilizations to madness through sound alone. Elena opened her thermos, poured herself a cup of coffee, and began, sketching in her notebook. 2 hours later, as the various species finished their elaborate threat displays, the Cosmic Arbiter called for answers. Admiral Zexathari stepped forward first. "The greatest threat here are the Devastators. They're physical. Might could crush any opposition. I've seen them tear apart battle cruisers with their bare hands," the lead architect chimed melodically. "Incorrect. The Void Hunters pose the greatest danger. Their hunting instincts and pack tactics have brought down civilizations spanning multiple star systems." One by one, each species identified another as the primary threat. The pattern was predictable. They all chose the most obviously dangerous, the most visibly powerful, the most dramatically threatening. When they reached row 3, Elena looked up from her notebook. "Oh, are we sharing answers now?" She closed her book gently. "The greatest threat in this room is humanity." A ripple of laughter echoed through the hall. The Void Hunter Admiral actually chuckled, a sound like grinding metal. "You? A single unarmed human academic?" Elena smiled politely. "Not just me, humanity as a whole." She stood slowly, her movements deliberate and calm. "You see, you've all made the same fundamental error. You've confused dangerous with threatening." She began walking down the aisle, her soft-soled shoes making barely a whisper on the floor. "The Devastators are incredibly dangerous in direct combat, yes. The Void Hunters are apex predators. The architects build weapons that can crack worlds. But none of you are the greatest threat." "Explain," commanded the Cosmic Arbiter, its interest clearly piqued. Elena reached into her satchel and withdrew her notebook. "I've spent the last 2 hours cataloging everyone here. Biological weaknesses, technological dependencies, psychological profiles, social structures." She flipped through pages covered with diagrams, chemical formulas, and behavioral observations. The Void Hunters, for instance, magnificent predators, but you hunt in packs with strict hierarchies. Eliminate the alpha and the pack fragments. Your enhanced metabolism requires specific amino acids found only in certain prey species, easily weaponized through targeted starvation. Admiral Zexathari's confident posture wavered slightly. Elena continued walking. "The architects are living. Crystals, beautiful and brilliant. But crystalline structures have specific resonant frequencies. I've calculated at least 6 sonic wavelengths that would shatter your consciousness irreversibly. The Devastators? For all your bio-armor and strength, you're still biological. Engineered viruses, tailored toxins, there are dozens of ways to neutralize your advantages. The room had fallen completely silent. You see, Elena said, returning to her seat and sipping her coffee. You've all evolved to be dangerous. But humans? We evolved to be clever. Every species here is more powerful than us in direct confrontation, so we don't fight directly. We study, we adapt, we find the weaknesses that evolution never bothered to address because they were too subtle, too specific, too unlikely to matter in natural selection. She gestured around the room. You're all specialists, perfected by millions of years of evolution for specific roles. But humans are generalists. We're not the strongest or fastest or smartest at any one thing, but we're good enough at everything, and that makes us the most dangerous species in the galaxy. But you're just one individual, protested a harmony. Singer, though its melodic voice carried less confidence than before. Elena smiled again, that same polite, professional expression. Am I? How do you think I got detailed biological profiles of species I'd never encountered before today? How did I calculate those specific sonic frequencies? Where do you think the database of xenobiological weaknesses came from? The truth settled over the room like a cold blanket. I'm not here to take your exam, Elena said quietly. I'm here to give it. For the past 50 years, every species that's joined the Galactic Council has attended this academy. Every promising individual, every potential threat, every genetic sample and technological innovation, all cataloged, all studied, all understood. She stood once more, her voice remaining conversational and pleasant. You wanted to identify the greatest threat in this room. Congratulations! You found her. But she was never sitting among you. She was sitting in row 3, taking notes, sipping coffee, and being systematically underestimated by every single one of you. The Cosmic Arbiter's voice resonated with what might have been approval. Examination. Complete. Results. Species identification accuracy, 0%. Threat assessment accuracy, a pause. 100%. Elena packed her thermos back into her satchel and headed for the door. Thank you all for the biological samples, by the way. Dead skin cells, shed scales, electromagnetic signatures, all very helpful for the research. Earth sends its regards. As the door closed behind her, 42 of the galaxy's most dangerous beings sat in stunned silence, finally understanding why, despite humanity's apparent weaknesses, no one had ever successfully conquered Earth. The greatest predators in the galaxy had just discovered they'd been the prey all along, and their hunter had been sitting quietly in row 3, taking notes.